wall at Euston has been filled in. Yay! Yay! Welcome to this Train Sim TV video. Welcome to this re-review of the West Coast Main Line South that we're doing. I'm going to re-review this route because it deserves it following the updates. I think I said I would do one, so here I am. I'm doing it. I'm at Euston. We're ready to go, boys and girls, and everybody. We're just ready. We're ready to go. I'm not sure if I've got an edited version of this original scenario on, or if they've actually changed the weather to now be just cloudy and summer rather than fog and spring. I've no idea. Somebody will know. If you've obviously not changed it like I farted about with it, so that's kind of my fault if that's the case. So we're starting here at Euston. We're going to get the train prepared, then we're going to have a look around. I started looking around then. I don't know why I did that. I wasn't supposed to do that. Anyway, let's just start. No idea what that message is at the top. Pretend it wasn't there. Oh my god, that's still deafening. Ow. Right, oh my Jesus, why so loud? Please, why so loud? I have got my speakers down to 28, and that is absolutely deafening me. Right, anyway, I'm turning my game's sound right down, so you're probably not going to be able to hear much sound other than the deafening warning sounds on the train, I'm afraid. Right, let's start putting some headlights on. And take the tail lights off, I guess. Oh, what am I doing? Does anybody know what I'm doing? Because I certainly don't. Anyway, actually, well, to be fair, let's have a look at the train. I don't know if I've got some duff textures. I've actually checked my settings. I'm sure they're full, but that looks a bit crap, that, doesn't it? It's a bit low res around the front. At least we can actually see in the cab now, which is a big plus, because before, for some reason, somebody just in the windows purely opaque. So that's at least a relief. And these are fully working now. I'm not sure if that was fully working before or not, but well, departure time 000, it's not fully working, it's working. The platform, I seem to remember I noted something about this before. It's still pretty tight to the train, doesn't crash into it, and it's a little bit better on the cutout front. It's not quite as edgy as it was before. Talking of edgy, hopefully this review won't be quite as edgy. I'm hoping that the route's improved a lot. I mean, that corner there certainly has improved quite a bit on it, so that's all good to see. Before that was just like an empty cavern in the back of London somewhere. Nice bit. I'm not sure if that sign was there. That is much better, because that wasn't there at all. You went up in and you just went off into the abyss and like got lost somewhere. So nice to see they've put that detail and time into that. And if it had looked like this original, I don't think the reviews that they've had would have been anywhere near as bad. Nice advertising. It's very bright down here. I'm not sure this really should be this bright, but it looks alright. Not sure why that platform there goes to Bristol and back before it comes straight. It's a bit weird, but it's, you know, it is what it is. But as you see that one, well, that's arrow straight, and then you go over here and it's like, uh-oh. But anyway, other than being very bright, it seems quite good. I was thinking Euston as being a really dark sort of station and dingy, but I've not been for a while, to be fair. What's that? Oh, that's a nice little addition. Speakers on it, on the posts. That's quite cool. I like that. But generally speaking, I like the look of this. It's pretty decent. Happily they fixed this. So look, we've got no catenary coming through there like we used to have. I've noted this texture. I quite like it. I'm not sure if it was there before. Maybe it was there before and I ignored it because there was so much of a rage. But I quite like the look of that texture. It's really quite decent. Whether it's accurate or not, it's no matter, but it looks decent, in my opinion. And generally speaking, the whole thing just looks so much better than it did before. Let's get back in the cab. And assume that we're ready to go. I've no idea, to be quite honest, if we are ready to go. Have I set the cab up? I think I have. I think. We'll find out. In a few seconds when we get the right away, we will find out whether or not I have actually set the cab up properly or not. Knowing me, I probably haven't, and we'll just be sat and I'll be raging and everything, but we'll assume for now that I have. trying to do a third rails login whilst I'm doing this, and whilst we're waiting seemingly forever to get the right way. What time is it? So we should be due off any second. 9G35 is our head code. Oh no, don't, please, 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 do not start this. I mean, I started doing this video in my 86 scenario, and I realised I should probably go back and do it in this video, in the same scenario, so I've got to put up with all these stupid noises that the damn thing makes, but anyway, let's go. FPS wise, it's 25 nearly. It wasn't, I mean, my FPS down at Houston was never that bad. It was never at the point where I really had to make massive complaints about it. In my original video, I didn't really complain too much about it, but I know a lot of users had major issues with it. For me, 25 FPS, that's pretty much fine. It's actually better than I would expect for a terminus like Houston, I think. Especially when you got the Pendos on. The Pendos are really notorious for being bad on FPS, so hats off to them for certainly improving that. I recall when this update came out, actually, though. This is a review, easy for me to say, of the route following two major updates by DCG. They did a first one, then they did a second one. It's been out a couple of weeks. I've not looked at it till today, so I don't know what to expect. One thing from my original video, I remember that building on the right there was floating. It's now fixed, so that's good to see. Shows that they've taken note there of their own mistakes. Again, shame it had to get through in the first place, but they fixed it, which is the main thing. So we're now heading up towards line X. Just gonna ease off the power a little bit because it's quite steep down and they go steeply uphill afterwards. FPS still 25. I have it locked to 30 anyway, so can I isolate that? That is starting to get on my tits already. Nope, I can't. I'll just have to live with it, won't I? I shall just have to live with getting deafened every however often it goes off. I'm trying to turn volume up so you can actually hear some game sound, but it's a bit difficult when that keeps happening. Oh god, I'm speeding now. We're gonna get that thing. I got done by speeding here before, I seem to remember. Right, get some power on again now. 1 in 35 gradient at the minute up here. I'll go through full patch notes as well. That was a very Yorkshire sentence, wasn't it? I'm trying to cut out a bit of Yorkshireness, but then at the same time I'm trying not to, because I'm conscious that you should always be yourself when you're talking, so a bit of a crossroads on what to do there. Maybe just shut up's probably a better idea. Although it's hard to convey a review if you don't speak. FPS now up to 28, so that's decent, with the cursed 350 as well coming towards me, so that is encouraging to say the least. Right, I'm gonna notch power off. I don't want to be speeding because it'll make some stupid noises and I'll panic and I'll cry and I'll get all upset and I'll start raging. I don't want to rage. It's a Sunday morning as I'm recording. I want to stay calm. I've purposely waited to do this video. Well, I haven't purposely waited. I've just been having a bit of a break from doing videos because to be honest, I haven't got the motivation to do them at the minute. And that's the same for Tom as well. He's obviously had a couple of weeks off. So we have come back again doing some videos. Just wanted to recharge the batteries a bit and play Call of Duty since that got released. To be fair, pretty much just play Call of Duty actually, to be honest. I mean, Tom's a bit crap at it, but we play it nevertheless, bless him. He tries. Oh, and of course PS5 came out, didn't it? So that's, yeah. Okay, so the reason I've not been doing videos is I feel like I've not had any motivation, but I've just been playing games, really. No, in all honesty, I haven't really had the motivation to do them recently. And I don't like to do them for the sake of doing them, because I don't perform very well if I'm just like doing videos for the sake of doing it. I prefer to do it when I can actually talk crap like I'm doing now, when I'm in the right mood. Can I put power down? I think I can put power down. Yeah, we can. So with this one, we're going to drive it probably not, certainly not to Coventry, because I want to get this video done in an hour. It's only a review. I cannot say that. I cannot say review. I can't say that fast. No chance. I don't want to do it for an hour. I'm not here to do it all day. We've already looked at the route in general. We're going to go as far as probably Berkey Wall to see if we still get his head taken off by a wall. If we do, my Sunday morning is going to be going from pretty decent to pretty angry. At the moment, my Sunday morning is going pretty well because that has been changed, I believe. It's not like it should be in real life, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure that was a Kuju building before, and you could literally walk straight onto the track. So that's been patched. I'm fairly certain that's been patched because I was having a right little whinge about it on the original review. So I think it has. If it has, then fantastic. If it hasn't, then bad DTG. But I think it has. Anyway, we're up to 80 mile an hour. And as we're going along here, I'm probably going to get the... What I want to do is remember how to do the bloody speed set on this. I shall look at the... I'm going to consult the manual. Pre-warning, consulting manual is occurring, so I'm not actually looking at the screen right now, so I'll probably get all sorts of warnings. I still can't find it. Oh, apparently DTG just started putting DTG on the start of all the manuals. Probably because everyone else started shoving manuals in their folder, to be honest. What I'm looking for is the key for the actual speed set thing. Yeah, I've got no idea what I'm doing. No idea at all. Not a biscuit. I don't drive modern traction, so I've got no idea. Let's have a little look and see if I can find any actual... I'm trying to read a manual, do a review, and talk all at the same time, and it is not going very well at the minute. The manual for the 390, you might as well eat it. It's pretty useless, let's be honest. It just shows you the cab controls. It tells you how to do the controls for the actual moving faster and slower. It does not tell... Well, thanks. That doesn't tell me how to use it, so I'm not going to use it. The wires and stuff keep disappearing here, and that is more of a TS issue because it just cannot load in all this stuff at once. I imagine if they strip the scenery right back to literally just near the track, you might be able to see the wires and stuff, but they're going to start disappearing in a minute, or they did for me before. Now the key is, I actually drove up here originally about half an hour ago, or maybe it's loaded them in. They're not disappearing just yet. Because maybe I've been in and out of the scenario editor, maybe that's why. No, they've disappeared there. They are disappearing a bit, but that's a TS issue regardless. Really, you can't do much about that unless you realise if you strip the scenery right back, so there's literally only the bits nearest the track in. You might be able to find that you can fix the issue by doing that, but on a banking and everything like that, it's going to be hard to pull much scenery back without causing the route to just look meh. Wembley Central. It was brought up in somebody else's review actually about the use of the underground signs, and I'm not sure myself whether it should be underground signs all the way through there, but it is at the minute. I'm finally getting up to line speed. Spent far too long there blabbing and just like messing about. I mean, aside from the dull weather, I'm pretty much quite enjoying this actually. It's decent. Certainly feels better than it did before. I've not lost my racket used to it like that. Just going over a neutral section there, so the line light will go out on the right side. There we go. It's back on. Get power back down again. But yeah, generally speaking, it's pretty good. FPS lock I have on at 30 anyway, so you're not going to see higher than 30. So that's as expected, really. I'm still fed up with seeing the same footbridge every 5 miles, but that's something that you'd expect DTG maybe, you know, if we were going to see him change that way of working, it'll be on future routes, because I'm sure these are modern footbridges. I'm not going to make any claims about taking my pictures off like I did in the original review. We'll just assume that they don't look like that in real life. Because that looks like they all look like something from Victorian era or from a preserved railway. They don't look. Generally speaking, bridges are the modern Queen, sort of the modern, or the. Obviously, if they're old, they're quite often different to each other. The ones that DTG seem to use seem to be a pretty generic one for older routes, which would look okay, but I think for more modern routes they just look a bit crap. I'm going to get the patch notes up whilst we're flying along here 125. That's a perfect time to do it now that things have gone off. Right, okay, so the full patch notes for the second patch. Now bear in mind this is the second patch. I haven't got the notes, I can't find them for the first one, but the first one didn't fix quite as much as the second one. The second one was quite a big one. So visual and performance improvements. So they improved the models of London Euston and Birmingham New Street. Now we've already looked at Euston, we can definitely say they've improved that, there's absolutely no doubt about it. I'm trying to do a speed set, but I don't know if it's working or not. I've just pressed it anyway. Who knows if it's working? We'll see soon enough, I'm sure. Gotta give it a stop at Euston in a couple of minutes. So, yeah, Euston we've seen it's definitely improved. New Street, when we get past Burke Wall at Berkhamsted, we're going to go and fly up the route and we'll go up to New Street and we'll have a good look around there, see if they've changed it, and have a look at how it's changed and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll do that. Have the textures changed on that bridge? Bloody hell, the textures have changed. Hang on. I'm still trying to turn speed set on or off. What am I doing? Right, there we go. Because I remembered this bridge then from my original. Oh, we've got missing textures. Well, if anyone at DTG sees that, so obviously got missing textures there. But big thanks for them doing this, because this is a lot better. If it had come out with that bridge looking like that in the first place, and that's what I was on about when I said retexturing it, I wouldn't really have had any complaints at all. That is so much better. And all it is, it looks like it's just a retexture, because you can still see the original bits where it's sort of catching each other. That is that's worlds better than it was before. I think I took a screenshot of it actually in the original video. Yeah, that is just worlds ahead of what it was. And sometimes, I mean, it'd be nice to just have a new model, but that's all it needed, and that's just made a big difference. It's actually pretty decent. So yeah, that shows that DCG do listen to the customers. Shouldn't have to give them so much abuse to get them there, but they do listen. Hats off to them for that. That's a decent bit of attention. Right, so we got Watford Junction in 2.5 miles. I'm going to ease off. I've already eased off the power. I'm talking about easing off power when I've already done it. Oh Christ, I gotta get braking. Quick, get the brakes on. I don't want to get the stupid overspeed things going off. Thank you. mast change as well. Is that? I don't know if that's the same bridge. If that's a taller version of it. But anyway, it looks certainly a lot better. That one hasn't got missing textures, so there's obviously some issue with the other one as to why it's got missing textures, but it's just so much better. Look, you can still see the model's a bit where it catches itself on the arches, but overall, you know, really pretty decent. Now I seem to remember I had a bit of a... I remember having a look at this station before. Bushy. Beautiful bushy I called it, didn't I? I think the glass wasn't two-way before, so it is now, which is good. And a correction to the original review is you can drive this line. I think it's in quick drive you can drive this line. I don't think there's any scenarios included for it. But the DC lines can be done in quick drive, I believe. I'm sure I got that wrong in the original review, so my apologies for that. And still, once again, for those who haven't seen the original review, the majority of these stations are absolutely brilliant. And once again, you know, this is another one of them. It's good. The worst thing about the stations was the clutter. And honestly, I don't really know the stations very well. I don't know if there's as many benches and stuff like this, but I look at it and I sort of think it looks decent enough as a casual viewer. Once again, massive difference. I actually want to take a screenshot of this bridge now. The AP ballast's going through the side. I can't take one thanks to AP ballast, but that won't be there if you've just, you know, have the AP track enhancement pack installed. That's my bad mark for installing that. But it's just, you know, that makes me actually want to take a screenshot of it rather than avoid looking at it at all costs. That's the difference it has made. So coming to Watford Junction, probably instead of having the throttle on that, you probably ought to be thinking about braking, mate. And we've got missing textures under there as well, so there's obviously something wrong with those missing textures. Whether it's something that's isolated to my system or something that's on everybody's system is another matter entirely. Whether we're going to stop at Watford Junction or not is also another matter entirely. It's not. Get the brakes on fully. It might help. Well, I've got to say, I've put it in emergency. I have put it in emergency. We're coming into Watford Junction at 60 miles an hour. Just well played all round, Matt, really. It's really smooth video. Let's not be reviewing my driving techniques, because non-existent right now. Well, we've nearly stopped in. We're somewhere in the Watford vicinity. Probably closer to the Metline station than Watford Junction now. Yeah, let's get them doors open. At least I was still on time. I can still hear a lot of Class 91 sounds on this thing. You probably can't because I turned all the volume down, remember, but... Now, I seem to remember I had a little bit of a hissy fit about this here. It exists, doesn't it, at the end of the day? There's not really much you can do or say. That's still floating, so that's not great. But it's a lot better, I think. I mean, there's not really much changed here, I don't think, to be honest. But it certainly looks more than good enough. It looks, you know, decent. So, I think that's pretty much all you can ask for in it, really. It's not... that it just looks acceptable. You know, were you happy with paying the money? I said I'd be happy paying the money for this. It looks decent so far. So we'll get up to Berkey Wall and then we're going to go have a look at Rugby and the other stations on the route, and particularly Birmingham International. I want to keep this video less than an hour. It's 25 minutes now, so we've got about half hour in the video left that I want to be using maximum. I haven't got the right away, have I? Oh, I didn't hear any drive to guard other than the one I pressed earnestly just then. For whatever reason why I pressed it, I don't know. But I don't think I ever got any... I don't think I got the tip there, so we've just gone. Don't matter. Mind you, to be fair, all train wasn't on platform, was it? Front at train was somewhere in Milton Keynes. Right. Oh, I was supposed to be reading through the... the list of fixes. I never read one. Well, what's the point in reading the list of... The patch notes is more than one note. That was me not reading them. Oh, shut up. Right, hopefully I've got enough time now. That's gone off to read them. So we already said about fixing Euston and, well, actually finishing Euston, you know, let's be honest. And Birmingham New Street's been improved as well. And it says fixed a number of issues on all other stations, overhead line equipment, bridges, gaps, numbering, etc. So that, in reading into that, means they've done something on every other station on the route. By the way, is anyone noticing their vendor distance on stuff changing recently? Because I swear that tunnel would before rendered, you know, that is a default tunnel mouth, I think. And it used to render a lot further out than that. And I've noticed with some signals as well that I've started rendering differently. I don't know what was going on there, because I've checked my own settings. There's no way I can see in my settings unless so much changed behind the scenes, but yeah, a bit weird. Like the LED wasn't set or something. Right. I get back to the notes for about the 5th time. So yeah, it sounds like they've done work on every station in the route, which is good to see. Because for the most part they were good, but they had bits of issues on pretty much all of them. There was an issue somewhere. It says updates to various stations to improve the visual reputation of each station. Presumably that's stuff like the cluttering, going through and taking note of what's actually there instead of just chucking stuff on like I'd done before. Hopefully. Improved overhead line equipment and smaller details to reduce draw distance and aid performance. So maybe that's why that didn't render in, but it was a bit bad if it is. Why it didn't render in. Performance wise, again, I'm sat pretty much exclusively at 30 FPS, which means it's working because I've got it locked to a maximum of 30. So then it says improve scenery throughout the route to address minor placement issues and improve overall fidelity. Now I'm not going to have a look at every single detail as we go through this, but the bits that I've seen look a lot better. I'm not seeing stuff as we're going along going, oh no, oh no, oh no, we've seen that bridge has improved. We saw something that was floating before that's now not floating. The cable troughing seems to be much better than it was. And it seems to be capturing the atmosphere a bit better now than it was before. So, yeah, all around, it just seems a lot more sort of solid now. Let's have a look at some of this. One of these had signage that was a bit, well, the old signage was a bit crap. That signage is still a bit crap, let's be honest. But still, the station itself looks, you know, good enough. It looks pretty decent. Once again, I don't really know exactly how they're meant to look in real life. It's not an area that I've ever really spent much time or been through that often, certainly not in recent years. But it's capturing that atmosphere that I've talked about before, that you feel like you're actually on the real thing, on the real route. Before, there were so many things happening that were triggering me, and things that you could notice, that it didn't feel like it was finished, it didn't feel polished, it just felt like it needed sort of the development time, I guess, that it's had. I've just punched the microphone, so apologies for that. It just feels like it's had that time put in that it should have had before. And I think if they'd have released it how it is now, originally, it'd have actually gone down pretty well. I don't think you'd please everybody, because there's obviously the performance. Chrome's gone for a sit down. Obviously the performance issues that people still will have. They're not anywhere near as pronounced as they were. You kind of obviously still need a hefty system to run it. But yeah, as we're banging up here at 125, it's generally a good experience. So next on the list, you've got applied wide-ranging enhancements to further improve overall performance. Note that inherent complexity due to the nature of the route in some areas may still present challenges for lower-end hardware. People on lower-end hardware, unfortunately that's your issue really. If you're still getting issues, I mean, you can see I'm on a high-end rig. I'm on a high middle end, so top end of the middle range, I would say, with this rig. And I'm seeing no real performance issues. I'm not sitting there going, oh my god, oh my god, press the wrong button. Now, I'm not sat here going, oh my god, it's unplayable. It's not unplayable. It's you know, pretty good actually, to be honest. Again, I think this is pretty much the same as it looked before. Just looks, you know, decent. and a solid bit of route building, although that's not solid, that's just could do it fixing, but yeah, it looks fun. But yeah, I mean, people on lower end hardware, if you're complaining about the route, I mean, unfortunately that's because you've got lower end hardware. I think the routes have to be built towards middle or high end machines, really, because if you built all the routes to a low end machine, then all your routes are going to look crap. At least that's how I see it anyway. I went through that era when I was obviously younger, couldn't afford a decent PC, and you know, you don't enjoy stuff as much. I didn't enjoy for years on MSTS back in the day. Had a really crap PC and couldn't enjoy it. And certainly the first like 3 or 4 years of TS, or Rail Simulator as it was, just couldn't enjoy it because I had a crap system. Getting a decent system has been the best investment I've ever made. But for me, it's very much playable. I noticed when DTG did their streams though, that it was still pretty poor, even on their second stream. It looked really laggy, which surprised me because you would think, because I know Tom did a stream on it, and his didn't perform too bad at all. You would think DTG would make sure that the people that are doing these streams pretty much every night of the week would be getting really good systems, like top end, to ensure that the routes look really good. Or at least playable. I mean, at some points even on the second stream it looked a bit unplayable, which you feel sorry for the guys doing the stream. It's it can't be an easy job, obviously. Ah, Berkey Wall. And we've made it through without being decapitated. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. So that's obviously a big plus, and I bet that didn't take that long to fix. It might have taken a while if they've redone some of it, but thank God they fixed it, because that was a major issue in terms of just like killing the immersion. So I'm going to cut the video here, and we're going to go, well, I'm not going to cut the video, we're going to go into editor, and we're just going to fly about and have a look around. But so far I'm pretty impressed. I'm saying a lot better than it was before. I'm not going to go over the top with all the looking at every bit of clutter and stuff like that. I don't know enough about the real thing to actually say that. So Alan's in a better position to speak about that, because he obviously did a better job of speaking about that in his original review. So if he does it again, then I'm sure he'll obviously give a better thoughts on that. But to me, it looks alright. Texture seems to change on the side of that. And I'm sure if I went really digging deep on every single one of these stations, you would still find issues, but you're looking at them at the face value. And they're pretty decent. Pretty decent job being done. Right, let's get an editor. Let's go for a little flyabout. And see what crack is. Have a look. So you got the cars that are included with that car park. Okay, so minor point there. So you see the cars that are included on that car park, they're actually part of the asset. That's not so much of an issue, but look at the view there. Green car repeats, green car repeats, green car repeats. Now, all you have to do to fix that is go into editor. You're the route builder. Let's just rotate one. It's still got the green car, but it's over there, and then you could rotate that one. And it's never going to be perfect because they've got the car stuck on the damn thing, so you can't actually get rid of them. Some of the older car parks you can place the cars individually, but I guess it does save on some resources. But you can see just by rotating it, so send it back to how it was, it mirrors it and stops it looking quite so samey. But they've obviously individually placed one pickup truck there, so shame they didn't just do that a bit more on here, just to break up the sort of monotonous look of it. But again, those are such minor points, it doesn't even, there's no point in making it really. But from an ultra sort of critical point of view, it's a point worth making. But yeah, well, having a look around it, it looks reasonably good, doesn't it? So let's have a fly up the route. So I think the logical first place to stop would be Milton Keynes, to see if they've done anything with those warehouses and stuff like that. My gut feeling is that they won't have done. My hope is they have, but my gut feeling is they won't have changed anything there. Because I think it's a minority of people that'll get as, or certainly as upset as I got. Maybe they fixed the floating cars that was in the car park. We'll see. Oh, they have. I think they have retextured it at least. Pretty sure they've retextured that. Not the perfect solution, but it's a solution nonetheless, because it's, I mean, it's not the best paint job either, but that doesn't stand out anywhere near as much because it's not bright blue. It's now just a grey warehouse that's sat there in the corner. That is a lot better. A lot better. I can live with that. Again, this was a pretty decent station model in the first place. Signage is still a bit pixelated, but it's not a major issue. They have fixed the floating cars, so again, thanks DTG for that. Good on you. It's a bit buggy and balky, but it's out of sight to most people. So again, I'm not sure what's going on over here, I'll be honest with that. That looks a little bit weird, but not something people are going to notice in the main. And generally speaking, it looks really pretty decent, doesn't it? Yeah. Good work. Right. Wolverton was a place where I got a bit. I wet myself basically. Wolverton. I said Woodlesford then. That's near where I live. So we'll take a look at Wolverton. See if Oak's changed much around here. I don't expect anything to go much changed here, to be honest. I think maybe the bridges, obviously, some of those have been the now retextured ones. Well, where am I? No, we've still got the pappy textures on that one, actually. What we're looking like under S, and remember there was some unsmooth gradients, still unsmooth, that's a shame. So yeah, it doesn't look like much has been done at Wolverton. I kind of didn't expect it, I just sort of said that anyway. I'm not expecting any extra detail to have gone in, nah. I've seen worse, I've made worse as well. That's Bletchley, we've had a pass there, so that's Wolverton. Let's have a look at the cutting. I think this is road cutting, isn't it? Down here somewhere. Again, I don't know the West Coast very well at all. This one hopefully will be the retextured bridge, actually. So a little lucky. No, that's just the crap one. Or the old one, should I say. Not necessarily crap. Yeah, it's not. Still that doesn't impress me that much, the cutting there, I'll be honest. Okay, so Rugby was the next one where it looked a bit meh. Well, it looked worse than me, it looked terrible actually. With the signal box not being a custom object, I don't expect it's going to be a custom, but I expect it'll be the one of the fixed, the now retextured warehouses, hopefully. Let's see. Maybe they've surprised us, or maybe they've made a custom model of Rugby Signalling Centre. It's called Warehouse Store 1, so no they haven't, but it looks and the texturing's on it pretty awful, but the fact that you can drive past it and you're not seeing a bright blue building and you're seeing it every station, it's a lot better in that respect. So again, great stuff. Still a bit unfinished around here, isn't it? It's all a bit rushed. The fence just sort of dies, this building's just buried. Yeah, it just doesn't look finished, does it, Rugby? Looks like the clock hit 5 o'clock and they just went home. Or just turned the computer off. You know, there's just fences that aren't connected, and it's not major issues again, it's just stuff that just makes it not look finished. And like this car park, presumably something custom probably should have been done there, because it just, so apparently you kind of come out of the car park and then you just die. And when you're coming in the morning, you're going to work, you just sort of teleport. Is what you do. Maybe they've got a car lift actually. That might be a car lift. Floating lamppost. Minor issues, but issues all the same. But that warehouse being retextured does kind of make a big difference. I wouldn't say big difference. It makes a difference. I'm not sure what this is. I mean, I get the feeling Hagen-Siegen Bridge. That's Kuju. I get the feeling that could have been a custom bridge. It looks like in real life. I've not seen it, but it looks like it should be pretty well. Not a unique bridge, almost. what we're looking like with this here. I don't know how this looked before, to be honest. I mean, it's not fantastic. It just, again, it sort of exists. Right, Coventry. Now, Coventry, I went high on praise with Coventry, and there was actually a lot of issues that I noticed. For one, there was a major gauging problem on these platforms that we can see now on our screen. I assume they fixed that. We haven't got a train to put in it. Obviously, if you're on all the usual places, Facebook groups and stuff like that, you'll know. Or if you've just driven the route yourself, you'll know. Just wait for it all to load in, and then we'll see. Looks like it's a bit closer, so maybe they have fixed that issue. I would think they have. I can't see them just leaving it. Yeah, it looks like it probably has been fixed. Now, there was a big gap in the wall here, which unfortunately is still here. And that's a shame. Because it, again, that lets this, what is otherwise a fantastic bit of route building down. The route building itself here is really, really good. Have they fixed the issues at this end? Yes, they fixed that. So that was a gap before. You could literally see straight through there. So that's good. And generally speaking here at Coventry, really quite decent. This was one of my favourite stations before, the model of it, I mean. So yeah, it's not bad at all. Let's have a look at Birmingham International. There wasn't really that much wrong with Birmingham International, to be honest, but we'll have a look. And then we'll have a look at the world's darkest stations as well, because there were some stations that were really dark, if I remember rightly. So we should really take a look at those, see if they've changed at all on the way into Birmingham. Video's at 40 minutes. I'm trying to keep it pretty short because I just don't want it to drag on forever. Conscious that the videos that are an hour long really don't do much for people. A lot of sort of ambient noise. Have they got the tunnel to the NEC now? No. So bad DCG on that one. So that's still not in. So what I'm on about there is you can come out the car park down here, because when I go to the Model Valley show at Birmingham, I always come and park in here, and I always walk across. I'm just going to turn the game sound off. I always walk across to the NEC, and you can walk across a bridge that goes between the two, and that's still not in, so that's a shame. Otherwise, it still looks pretty much the same, I think, and reasonable at that, so that's good. Airport still looks the same. It was alright, it's in a cutting anyway, so, you know, acceptable. Don't know if this is a bit brighter than it was, you know. This might have been fixed. I seem to remember this was a lot darker before. Because I raged on this one. Let's carry on. The terrible footbridge is still in, so I don't have to go to Wakefield Market just yet. They haven't retextured that one, so that's a little bit weird. So why is the other one being retextured than this one hasn't? That's a bit of an inconsistency. Lee Hall, now this is a lot better. Wow, that is so much better. So that was really, really dark before. You couldn't see the nice detail or anything on it. That is some nice detail. So yeah, they fixed that. Yeah, that's a lot better. You couldn't see any colour, it was just black. I think I'm going to make some scenarios for this review now. I'm quite enjoying the review this time. By this point in the last review, I was in tears. Just wish that they wouldn't have damaged their own rep by bringing it out in the original state that it was. If they'd have brought it out like this, people would have just been, for the most part, I think, saying, wow, fantastic DTG. Or at least good DTG. I don't think fantastic's the right word. I think there's not enough custom models and stuff like that, because it's such a long route though. That's kind of expected, because you're doing a lot of mileage. You know, if we were doing this route at JT, we'd probably have to split this at least twice. I would think twice, with the length of it being over 100 miles. To do the job that we've done, like we've done on Midland Main Line, I think we would have to split it at least twice. Probably Rugby, maybe. Yeah, Rugby including Northampton for one stage to Euston. And then Rugby to Birmingham for the second stage, I think, if we were doing it. Although you'd still be looking at some pretty high costs for that. I don't know if it'd be worthy of doing it, to be honest, with how costly it'd be with the style we do the building. Again, that's all good, that station. Now let's have a look, see what's changed as we're coming into Birmingham. I'm hoping we're going to see Curzon Street has now got a custom model. Oh, hang on. Curzon Street, yay! Fantastic. Fantastic. And the awful Coogee building has been replaced by one that's a little bit more suitable. Great stuff. Again, the approach into New Street, coming down here underneath Moore Street, is just a bit pants. It's not good. Well, we kind of knew that. I wasn't expecting that to change. We'll see if they're still doing a Class 37 overhaul. They are. Still a bit weird. But this looks better. I think it's reasonable, I think is the best way of saying that. I'm not going to really make any massive complaints about it. It looks reasonable. Very dark in here, which it is in real life, pretty dark in there to be fair. Yeah, again on that side, it doesn't look perfect by any means at all. But it looks alright. Got the signal box. Let's have a look under here. See if they fixed the skewy lift doors. And they haven't fixed the gap in the roof, that's a shame. I think they have fixed the lift doors, you know. So that's good. And generally speaking, it does look pretty good in here. It's better than it was. I feel like it'd be almost fouling that signal going down there, but anyway. Maybe not. But yeah, they've made a lot of big improvements to this. I'll just finish going through the list of improvements. So, in fixing an issue with Primrose Hill tunnel boreholes, improved cable troughs throughout the route, improved manual localization and added destination lists for all rolling stock. That's useful. Rolling stock, fixed livery on BR Class 390 Pendolino pantograph coach so it is correct orientation on the consist. Fixed an issue with the BR 377 passenger view. One thing as well with this now, the windows, as I said before, you can now actually see inside the damn thing. The station signage I am still not really happy with. Consist formations, fixed an issue with the BR Class 390 Pendolino consist so the pantograph coach is on the correct end. Quick drive, fixed an issue with a red signal on the northbound fast from Euston. Fixed an issue with the incorrect pathing on the northbound fast from Euston. And then fixed an issue with train collisions on the northbound fast from Euston. Scenarios, corrected all BR 390 consists throughout all scenarios to reflect proper formations. And fixed a number of localization issues throughout the scenarios. So, in summary, definitely worth the money now. It's a really good route. I'm happy to drive it. I'm going to make some scenarios for it. I think I enjoyed this second review. Worth picking up. Certainly at sale value, but I'd pick it up at full price. I think it's worth it. It's a good bit of route. Not perfect. Could certainly do with a lot of improvements, but it's decent for the price and the length. So good work, DCG. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, check us out on Twitch. Tom's regularly live. That's twitch.tv/trainsim_TV. Cheers, guys. Bye.